Hey, right now, here's a guy that doesn't need any help. They won the national championship in D3 National Junior College. They ran through there pretty well. A lot of local guys. And with us right now is Rock Valley head men's basketball coach Craig Doty. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Dave and Matt, good morning. Great to be on again.
Hey, we were talking before we came on the air today about Clay Anthony Early from Wichita State. He played in the same tournament at the same level as you guys did. That's pretty impressive. That shows you what kind of a good tournament you guys come out of in that D3 championship.
And it's such a good tournament that Clay Anthony never won a national championship. And he's going to be somebody who gets drafted in the NBA. Mm-hmm. When we show up at SUNY Sullivan in New York on their campus, you see two banners hanging in their arena, and both are for National Player of the Year for Clint Anthony Early. And, Jared May certainly isn't a lock for National Player of the Year, but his name is in contention for it, and we will see if he does end up getting National Player of the Year, which would be an incredible feat, but he is a nominee for it. And but yeah, certainly it gives more credence to our tournaments, to Division III junior college basketball at the national level. Anytime you can turn on Wichita State and see a 6'9" small forward, power forward who's going to be drafted in the NBA, and understand that, wow, players like this come out of this level. You kind of know that this is it's a big deal, and Division III junior college can provide a ton of opportunity for student athletes, and much like Clint Anthony getting a substantial amount of scholarship offers after he left, many of our guys are getting those same opportunities.
I think the biggest question for me coming out of the national title is, are you holding open tryouts for Culver's employees?
We'll hold one open tryout every single year, and as many Culver's, McDonald's employees, KFC that want to show up, they're certainly encouraged to come by. But LT Davis, wow, he's going to work in the restaurant business right now. If he continues his progress, he's going to have a heck of a 6 to 10 years playing overseas after he ends up getting his bachelor's degree here in the next 3 to 4 years. LT is really good, and to find him flipping burgers at Culver's and kind of transition him over real quickly to being a student athlete at Rock Valley College, it's really a special story.
And he was named tournament MVP, right? That was a big deal for him.
Yeah, he was named the player of the tournament, MVP of the national tournament, and LT had an outstanding beginning of the season. The first 12, 13 games when we clawed up the rankings to number 2 in the country, LT was very dominant. Then I don't know where LT went for about 15 games. It was the most frustrating time of my life I can imagine his, in regards to seeing a player be incredibly good, play at a high level, and lead us to many victories, to see them fall off the map. And then we saw LT Davis come back just in time for the region tournament. He got some confidence going the 2 games leading up to the region tournament. He easily could have been region tournament MVP. Jared Mays inched him out there, and then at the national tournament, could have either went to Jared or LT. I know the committee was split on it, but no, LT did an outstanding job. He's an incredible talent, a great person, and he's just a freshman. So there's a lot more to be seen of Mr. Davis.
Last year you have a good run, kind of out of nowhere with the team. You come in at the last second and you guys have a great run. How hard was it this year, because you added in a lot of first-year talent. I mean, it was talent, but a lot of first-year guys, and to end up doing what you did this year, how special is that?
Well, last year was so important to this year. When I took over the program on October 1st of 2012, there were 9 men's basketball players. There was no coach in place. We're fighting to keep everybody eligible, make sure everybody's going to class, or we were so far behind the 8 ball. And the only reason we were able to succeed when we came in was because, Misty is not only running the department, her women's basketball program, but she was also keeping the men's basketball program afloat until that hire was made. And we started out 1-5, and we were preseason ranked last in in the conference. But the ability and the toughness of our guys from last year played a key role into our national championship run this year. Because if we hadn't made it, if we weren't able to get through the region tournament last year and make the national tournament for at that time was the second time in school history, we wouldn't understand kind of the situation in New York. I mean, the hotel is 45 minutes away from the arena. You're up in the Catskill Mountains. You're on a bus constantly. So just from a logistical standpoint, you understand how to operate when you're there. You understand what needs to take place. You understand there is no chain restaurants and what Italian place you're going to eat at next, and what places are $25 a plate. Which ones can you actually afford? There's so many things logistically that you have to understand to help put your players in a position to succeed. And then, we've had 4 returners as well who had been there, and that certainly helps too. But, I contacted all of the members of the program who had left us due to graduation and moving on last year, and I told them this is your national championship too. I know they weren't able to play in it, but it was what they started when I first came in here that allowed us to have some continuity to build this in a very short period of time to what it is today.
We're talking with Craig Doty, the head basketball coach, the men's basketball coach at Rock Valley College. They just recently won the National Junior College D3 National Championship. And, with all the local talents you have a guy you're thinking about redshirting, and he goes nuts once in a while with three-pointers. Frank Semino, he is the most fun kid to watch. And he's just one of those things like, I think when he's playing, it's like tick, 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 tick. You're waiting for that bomb to go off with him.
I'm still thinking about redshirting him. But, Frank is so small. Frank's best basketball is still ahead of him, and that's why we continue to talk. We joke around about it today that Frank's a $145. I mean, he needs 15 to 20 pounds of muscle on him to be effective on both ends of the floor. But he's so good at doing one thing. I mean, and he's the best in the country at doing it, hitting 110 threes on the season and making more than 3 a game. He's so good at one thing that it allows him to be incredibly effective at this level. And if you look at great shooters in the NBA, such as a Larry Bird or a Ray Allen, these guys weren't very good at taking anybody off the dribble. But when they gave a shot pick or they raised their eyebrows at the rim, all of a sudden players have got to run out at him, and because they're such good shooters. And that's what Frank turned into. Was Frank wasn't great at getting separation and blowing by somebody until he was marked as the best marksman in the country, and then all of a sudden he's able to get to the basket a little more. He's able to create for his teammates, and his progress throughout the year was substantial. Another guy who's been great for us on the floor, off the floor, and somebody we're really proud of. But yes, we are happy. Ultimately, we said, Frank, we're gonna burn a year of eligibility for you. I don't know how much playing time you're gonna get, and I guess he kind of proved it to us what he's got, and he proved it to the whole country.
Hey, he needs to go to Culver's with LT there and get him a few cheeseburgers or something.
Get him on the milkshake diet,
right?
Cheeseburger diet. Get him filled out a little bit.
There you go. What does a run like this mean for the future of these kids? As far as getting to a 4-year school down the road, and just what they can maybe do after a run like this.
I've been taking a lot of phone calls from coaches out east. Mm-hmm. I've had multiple Division I coaches call. Jared and LT are obviously very hot commodities. And in fact, we had a coach from Connecticut, an NJCAA Division II coach, who saw Jack Harrison, who only played for one half out at the national tournament and then got concussion symptoms, and Brant Boyles. And Jack and Brant were both both role players for us this season. Mm-hmm. And this coach flew in from Connecticut and offered both of them scholarships. They're both going to be flying out there to visit campus in the next 2 weeks and make a decision. And these guys do not have a ton of stuff going in regards to the scholarship level. It just shows when you make a national tournament. And Jack played one half of basketball, one very good half of basketball. It's really funny when you're 6'8", 230 pounds. If you look pretty sexy for one half, that's all it takes. But Brant looked really good throughout the whole tournament. He's so valuable to our team. Only averages 6 points per game, but does everything right. The most coachable kid I've ever had. He's tough as nails. He's had his nose broke twice, and I always give him a hard time because he's trying to cost me my job. He was told not to go back into the game, and he's trying to sneak in and check in despite his nose being smashed inward. And he's just tough as nails. He's an awesome kid, and to see these guys receive financial scholarship packages from Division II schools, and it's really what we're here for. I mean, we're here to use basketball as a vehicle to help progress these guys' lives, and if they can have if they can continue their careers at the 4-year level and leave without any student loans, and then enter the workforce with a substantial amount of skills, I think we're doing our job.
Rock Valley College men's basketball coach Craig Doty, and when you look at this, it's just amazing that I know local coaches are starting to contact you more. I think Coach Brannon contacted you about LT, said you might want to stop over to Culver's and talk to him, if I remember the first time we talked to you. So has the relationship with local coaches really helped out lately?
Yes, and I knew Coach Brannon before I came in. I was recruiting LT a little bit when I was at Riverland Community College in Minnesota. One of the first calls I made when I got to town was to Coach Brannon to talk to him about LT, and then he informed me about a kid named Jared Mays as well, and we started going to work there. But the Nick 10 it's not a secret around here. We as a staff, we really get out and work. We go to practices. We go to every single night we're available. We got staff at either 2 or 3 different gyms throughout the league, and we get to know the kids pretty well. It's not uncommon for me to receive between 10 and 20 emails and questionnaires a week from kids and coaches, primarily outside of this region. People see the success we've had in the program, and a lot of kids want to come here. But it's a special time. We continue to plan on recruiting this area very heavily. We are having recruits on campus today. I will have over a half dozen Nick 10 and surrounding district kids on our campus this morning, and I hope to have some announcements for you guys in the coming weeks about commitments from this area. We're going to keep this going. There's no reason not to. I'm still looking for some 6'9" kids in the league, so whatever Rockford needs to do to start producing 6'9", because I don't know if it's in the water or what. I will certainly contribute to that, but we'll go out and supplement our recruiting base outside of the district as well. We're on top of some kids from South Dakota, Iowa, Minnesota, as well as Wisconsin and Indiana. But again, we're going to recruit the 10 best players in this area every single year, and we're going to put a lot of eggs in those baskets.
I thought one of the coolest things I saw was on Twitter, the picture of you and your son up there cutting down the nuts. How cool was that?
It was one of the best moments of my life.
Yeah.
It is, simply put, to be able to put all your time and energy every single day as a coach, you dedicate towards the program, and sometimes that means you don't get to see your son as much, and you're hiring a lot of nannies and babysitters, and you're out recruiting and working constantly, but ultimately it's for your student athletes, and it's for your family, and to hold my son up there and cut down the net, it absolutely is one of the most special moments of my life.
And how many minutes did you enjoy the championship before you started worrying about the next season?
That's a great question. We were on the bus ride home, and I'm talking with Coach Lavery at the front of the bus, and I said, it's sunk in. And he says, no. And I said, it hasn't either. Well, I'm just thinking about what our next scout is and what we need to do better to prepare us for the next game. So, now that we didn't have practice this week, it's starting to sink in a little bit more, and, it's starting to become more real. So it's a great question. We're preparing, though, right away. The iron's hot for us in regards to recruiting. We had 2 kids on yesterday as well, and next week's going to be a big week leading up until I take off for Dallas to go to the Final Four for some conventions and to maybe learn how to coach a little bit down there. I might be able to pick up a few pointers, but things are going good. We're thinking about the future every day. We'll enjoy it in doses, but to continue this and to create a dynasty here and continue to do what we've done, that's our number one goal.
A real quick answer from you because we got to take a break. But one more local story. How cool is it for Coach Goers to be there and be part of a championship team?
It's great. Coach Goers is very valuable in many different ways. He's out in the building all day long with us. So, one of the things, he doesn't have to be bad cop very often. He gets to see the guys during practice. He gets to build a personal relationship with the kids, and they love him. And I know Coach Goers for 43 years of a coaching career was running the show, and oftentimes when you're doing that, you build a good relationship with your kids, but it's a little bit different. And when you're an assistant, you really get to be closer with the guys and kind of more of a friend. And I think that's what the most enjoyable part for Coach Goers has been, is building these positive relationships with the guys and getting to know them personally and being there for them. And I think it's been very special. He's had a big smile on his face all week since we've got back. So he's a very happy man.
Well, thanks so much, Coach, for being on. Thanks for whenever I bug you, you'll do a podcast with me or talk to me. And just congratulations. Really happy for you guys, and what a great program you have there. And just keep it up. Thanks for having you on today.
Dave and Matt, you guys do an outstanding job, and you guys are setting the bar high. I think you're national champions of radio broadcast, so keep it up.
Thank you.
Wow, how much did that cost me, big guy? That was good. Thank you.
I speaking from the heart, guys.
That's good. Thanks so much, Coach. We've been talking with Rock Valley coach Craig Doty. We'll talk about